Welcome, everybody. We here live, quick, and easy. Back with Inspired Esports GG within week 6. Right now, we're rocking with two amazing teams. We have Legion, we have the Chimps. Monkey, I am your caster here, joined by Mr. Bramble, and I am username underscore Intel. But we are in the map, a little bit of this kind of scuffedness. Either way, Bramble, how do you feel about what's going on right now?
I am excited. I love me a good underdog story. Legion going up against the undefeated Chimps here in I believe we are in the Shield division, and it's going to be a beautiful matchup.
Oh, it's going to be one that's truly exciting. We already see them walking out. They're looking to kind of play fast. The lower team is wanting to try to make this happen, but it seems that the Sim is just being able to kind of slowly melt down the shield, move them forward, and now one side is just not going to be able to live. Fungin is just not going to have that ability to be able to escape. Now with the immortality used, they have to kind of play onto the point, but look at this. They're not having that speed to rotation. They're losing out near. Now the rest of the team is slowly being poked out.
Yeah, that's how you take control of a team fight right there. Legion just absolutely destroying the Chimps on their first offensive. The Chimps allowed themselves to be backed up into that small staircase with the mini health pack, so Legion had full control of that high ground and, just a death funnel. If you're in a small rectangle, every bullet's going to hit you. So, not much that's going to happen there, aside from losing out on a team fight.
I'd like to see more of how they want to be able to use this rotation and quick engagement. Looks like Nier is going to be taken out first by Swanky Pants. It's really hard to kind of go against a Junkrat, especially when you're going in a very horizontal to vertical kind of format. But the Riptire that's now built, this is what they're looking for. However, they lose out that Riptire. Seems Swanky's just being able to find it. The wall isn't truly the best in where it could be, but it gives Ben enough room to start overtaking. Swank isn't going to be able to kind of do much besides move out of the way, lose that immortality. They do get a punch in, trying to take out Ben, but not going to be able to secure it with the sound barrier and window kind of enabled. This is the moment where Legion can feel a bit more confident. However, the counter sound barrier is out there. The charge is going to miss, and they're going to be able to lose out on their main tank. This is going to be hurting a lot because now their division is split. They don't really get to move forward until the entirety of Legion. They're not really going to be working together. They lose two, and now it's sort of an even trade where it's up for like the tank line and for the Junkrat to be able to fully control it. Swanky's Pants Riptire making them have to play it back. They really don't want to commit onto it. It's giving them the fight. It's giving them time, but look at that. Gallant's able to take it out immediately.
And beautiful stall tactic with that tires. Phoenix is going to open this fight up with a Gravitic Flux. Ben's Earth Shatter finds value.
The shatter hits mid-air, the bomb dropped, but the Sigma able to break it out. It looks like Legion don't really have the respawns or the kind of team to be able to survive there. It does look like North is able to kind of find out the Junkrat, while the Reinhardt is looking to find anyone out that has that shatter, can place it down. There are too many opponents on opposite side. It's not so Nier can come up for the follow-up to where they can truly have an even fight. Now with the supports gone, it does seem Legion are going to be forcing this point all the way over to 99%, and the Chimps really are kind of struggling to finish this off. The tank line are still alive. They're able to find out Fungin again. And look, Lucio's one coming back, but they're going to finally decide to give it back. They have more than enough time to take another fight.
The Chimps were just on their back foot throughout that entire opening fight. I mean, they even had to swap Nier off of the Symmetra onto that Doomfist quite early on. Now that they found their footing and we've got Gallant up there on the high ground just spamming grenades down, Legion might be able to push in with this Symmetra ult, but it's going to be a tricky fight from here.
Oh, Might is maybe a bit more worrying. They use that window, but North is split off. Gonna be focused out by the Doomfist and the Riptire wanting to make a difference. Well, there's not really much of it when the entirety of Legion are able to start to shut you down. Now with the Doomfist wanting to do as much as you can, you're really just looking like chips and not getting any long-term value on it. And it just seems that while you're trying to stagger yourselves onto the point, while we're seeing the Lucio and Reinhardt try to do their best, they immediately get double booped not only by Elf, but by Polar. And that's how we see Legion take first map.
I don't know what's happening here. The Chattanooga Chimps must be waking up from a nap because this is not the 4-0 team in the Shield division that we are used to seeing. They've normally been quite dominant, very assertive, their presence always being known, and Legion, they had their number right there. They had him on speed dial. The phone didn't even ring and they were already picking it up. So we're going to have to see what is the Chimps going to do to come out with this. The Shadow Dive coming out from Legion, we saw that from them yesterday in their matchup against the Meat Mafia, and the Chimps opting for a Tracer in place of a Reaper, trying to have a bit more mobility. Never mind, I spoke too soon. A mirror matchup this is going to be an interesting dive/brawl that these teams are going to be having outside of the point here on Spire.
Goth dive, shadow dive, whatever you want to call it, relies on that hack. So already these teams struggling to find that first engagement. It does look like the Chimps truly going ape as they're being able to find out the first hack to DMAC going on to Elf. And now they choose slowly to move forward, but they have full control over the point. So it's whether do you get that pick or do you manage to fully take over that point. It seems they get that pick and they have to kind of start to stay back until they get out Mad Circle. And now they can feel a bit more comfortable overstaying their welcome, looking for any type of stagger picks.
Yeah, that fight was kind of over before it began. If you manage to get that DMAC onto Elf and then eliminate Ben while Elf is still in that Pilot Diva form, the Legion just does not have the meat shield they need to push in. So Chimps, very good awareness to be able to find those eliminations and push in with them and open this next fight with a Coalescence.
The beautiful Coalescence, but it is going to be countered out up to Phoenix's bomb if they want to slow things down. But the EMP not able to come out, really only kind of cancels a bit. The boot comes, the Sound Bear, Funjin able to kind of make things a little bit even until we're going to be seeing Nier come out, try to make anything really kind of even out. However, it's just not in anyone's favor. It's truly 2-on-2. The Primal Rage being used on the point. It is going to be stopping the counter capture, but the Divas are the one. It still seems that, look at that, Trust able to fight onto that point. The rest of their team are slowly coming on, but the Monkey is somehow being able to find so much room to be able to play. Now with the counterbalance and Mad Circle's own EMP, they can cancel out the Sound Barrier with their own choosing. Swanky is going to be hacked, so they don't really have that major DPS factor within there, and the timing is slowly going higher and higher and higher as we're just not seeing Legion finishing this out.
Very, very impressive for Mad Circle to understand that there was not really a good opportunity to throw that EMP. Even if he had countered out the Sound Barrier, that's not really a one fight when you have the entirety of the Chimps there and your team just kind of trickling back in. So having that for this next fight's really going to play into Legion's favor, and not really having any counterpoint on the other side. Maybe Tescu gets that Coalescence online, but it could be a question mark, and with 4 on that EMP, I don't see it happening.
Such a beautiful EMP, but no follow-up. The Coalescence being used counterplaying, just trying to get as much room as possible, but it gets countered out from Gallant's own EMP, combined with the Death Blossom. There is just no room for you to live.
This is the Chattanooga Chimps that we are used to seeing. This is the Chattanooga Chimps that are currently sitting at #1 in Group Shield. An absolutely wonderful bit of coordination from each side. A little cheeky bomb right there at the end. Swanky Pants not able to touch the point. The awareness of Gallant and the ability to build up that EMP to cancel out North's Coalescence after his own team got hit with a 4-man EMP. Absolutely beautiful. So what's going to happen here on Night Garden? We're probably going to see these Symmetras come out, probably Symmetra Doomfist. We've seen Nier on both of those heroes at this point, so we know they've got the hero pool on the side of the Chimps. We know Nier has the power on that side. Legion, I don't know, this was kind of give and take. There wasn't really anywhere on either side. It was kind of, this map is ours, this map is yours. They're really going to have to try and pull something out of the hat and make a final statement to take Night Market and take the first map, and this first map is always so critical for the momentum on either team. A double shield coming out from the Chimps, very interesting choice.
Yeah, they don't use that double shield to get onto the point, rather to go out faster, and yet Nier's coming out, manages to punch North and giving them more room to try to find their advantage. However, losing out on their Doomfist and relying on the teleporters just to be able to kind of play around, missing that charge. Don't know what's going on the side of Chimps. They're kind of going ape in the mindset, but they do have the room to be able to push forward. They have that long range poke. They're being able to slowly shut down the entirety of the tank, and while Elf is being able to slowly be there, there's not much you can do.
Yeah, that weird back teleporter, Synctro was trying to charge through on his receiving side and then catch somebody in the back, and it seemed like he wasn't able to find any value. It seemed like it was just a matter of, this is cool, let's do it. And I mean, it absolutely was, but he's just lucky that he got out of there with his life and that his team was able to capitalize on capturing the remainder of the point. As Mad Circle has swapped over onto the Pharah, actually pretty much an entire lineup swap on the side of Legion, trying to go very dive heavy, get past those 2 shields and remove the presence of the turrets. Doomfist going to be the biggest threat with that. So we're going to see what's going to happen from here as Tescu's window is going to open up this next fight.
Yeah, I've never really seen a Baptiste being able to 1v1 with the window against a Pharah, but it seems that they're just being able to take it out, and with the Nier taking out Swanky, there is nobody on the flank side being able to shut them down. Now the rest of the Legion doing their best, trying to find anyone out, but the D.Va split and on your own. Baby can only do so much until you have that remake.
Ooh, man. And Elf getting knocked off of the map early on in that fight, barely able to get back up with the boosters, but definitely the better play because you don't want that environmental kill going towards the ult charge. And now with Funjin, Gallant, and Phoenix having their ults online and nothing on the side of Legion, it's going to be an uphill battle for Legion to take this point back. They just got that barrage, and they're going to have to rely pretty heavily on that if they're going to want to get anywhere and get some capture progress here on round 3.
I think there's a lot of opportunities that you have to set up, but it's really how they try to engage it. Quick or fast is what matters the most when we're in a one-fight territory. And look, this Bongo is perfectly shielded privately with the Orisa shield, so they really don't have much to worry about. It's used as a detergent, so they can't really move in. Now with the Wrecking Ball popping in, that wall's going to be denied. The healing barrage is split, and the sound barrier enables them to stay fine. Combined with that shatter, it is a grueling yet satisfying condition just to make sure that you solidify your victory, proving to the other side, proving to Legion, there's just nothing you can do when the Chimps go ape, and they manage to take Lijiang Tower.
Ah, man, you went there. I can't believe you. I'm not surprised you went there, but I can't believe you went there. But it's right. There's really nothing you can do. Once the Chimps really start to get the momentum and start to establish themselves as, hey, we're top of the division for a region, I mean, look at this. An incredible boop off of the side of Funjin. Getting those double kills off the back of that EMP. The synchronization and the coordination for the Chattanooga Chimps absolutely on display here. Legion absolutely putting up a valiant effort, managing to take that, I believe that was the first map, the first round that they were able to take off. An absolutely dominant performance. They are absolutely here to, if I can stop saying absolutely, that would be wonderful. They are definitely here to fight and, you know, make up for that loss that they had yesterday against the Meat Mafia. But Chattanooga Chimps are not going to be going quietly into the night. They win this matchup. Not only are they going undefeated 5-0 to retain their spot as #1 in Group Shield, they're going to move to #1 in the overall standings with the map differential. Right now, there's just one map difference between the Chattanooga Chimps and Shunsgoons, who are in first place overall. So if I'm the Chattanooga Chimps, I'm not looking to drop that in the slightest.
Oh man, that's something we haven't had the opportunity to talk about solely just because of the rushed in intro. But you're very much right. We are looking at the Chimps. They really want to try to win this out solely to have that bigger map differential. You look a lot better, but I think something more important that's kind of going on is Legion wanting to try to have some better opportunity for playoff chances. Because the way that things are working, they are 4th seed, meaning that if kind of things stay as they are now, they're going up against Shoongoons, and that can be a bit concerning. So I think if you're really wanting to do your best or to kind of set yourself up, if they win this out, there is a high chance they take over that 3rd seed from LSFC, and meaning that you go up against Road Dragons instead. So debatably, that may be an easier or weaker team depending on the people. So I think this match has a lot when it comes to the what you're getting out from winning.
Absolutely. And there's not really, there it is again. There's not really too much stock that we can hold onto the strength of schedule because there's only 6 teams in each division. Even if the teams have been playing cross division, it's really, or across divisions, I should say, rather. There's really not too much lineup that you can see of like, oh, well, they were going up against the top teams the whole way through. No, it's a pretty even round robin and pretty even distribution of battles between the teams. And as we move here into Kings Row, Legion, they had a pretty good fight here despite dropping the map to Meat Mafia yesterday. The Chimps, I mean, Kings Row is a great map for anyone, so the Chimps really just going to try and keep in their element here. And again, like we were saying, they're going to want that #1 seeding, the best playoff potential to win out the whole thing. And Legion, they got to make something happen here. They're going to be starting off as the defenders, so the win condition is going to be set there.
I've got to say, I'm very much kind of interested in the way that they're wanting to play this, because look, if we take a second over to the Chimps, they're definitely running something very unconventional, while on the opposite side, Legion, they're running out with that bread and butter, the smoothness of just pure brawl, and I'm more interested to see how is the Winston or just pure dive of what they're going with goes up against it, because I think it's an inferior composition, especially on Kings Row, where this is just kind of the bread and butter.
Oh, Cowboy May is absolutely the combination we're used to seeing here for the DPS. The Nier on the Doomfist is going to be interesting if he sticks with it, and Phoenix on the Winston. Those are two heroes we don't really see get a lot of playtime, at least on King's Row. So with Gallant coming out with the Symmetra, also not really something we see often. I wonder if that's going to be a teleport and swap, or is that something that they're going to be looking to keep? It looks like they're moving in with it. This is an amazing fight.
Interesting debate. I'd like to say they managed to find Ben out of position, forcing the Immor out early, but they've set themselves up to be able to easily take that first tick. Now it's kind of the switchers who wants to be the engager. They do manage to find out too when it comes to the side of the monkeys, and there's just not much that you can do. It seems Legion slowly being able to walk back to the point. Sure, 2 ticks were taken, but they're feeling confident in being able to shut this down.
And a very interesting play. The teleporter up onto the statue, and the seismic slam coming out from Nier. I mean, that ult charge absolutely shot up. And look at Phoenix already having that monkey online. These ultimates pretty even on both sides as they look to re-engage, but it's really going to fall down on the supports on the side of Legion. And having North with the window already, Polari almost has the sound barrier. This window to open it up is going to make all the difference.
Indubitably, as a nice British man would want to say, but it seems that Ben is going to be traded out, though their team is able to kind of even it. Sure, you have Phoenix Primal Raging trying to make you loose and not comfortable. They are still able to kind of unify and easily take out the front line.
Yeah, they committed a lot of ultimates there, and Legion now has 4 online. Ben, despite, getting eliminated early in that fight, he's already back, and there's really nothing else that the Legion need to worry about too much. You got 4 ultimates online. Ben should probably get that shatter. North is absolutely going to get the window online. The Chimps pulling another swap. Phoenix over onto Zarya and Gallant onto the Cowboy. That early pick onto North might be able to push them in for good.
Yeah, more importantly, it seems that the Blizzard is going to be countered out by the Sound Barrier, but combined with the bomb and the split of their main tank, they're not going to be able to unify. The Doomfist going out, and that huge shatter looking to kind of make things happen, but the Mei wall is going to be what stops Tra from being able to find much, though this is exactly what they needed. The big chaotic fight kind of caused the Legion to have their pants down, not being able to follow up on that shatter, and look at this, point captured.
Silly intel. Chimps don't wear pants. But now we've got
that one.
Speaking of pants, Swanky Pants throwing the Deadeye in that fight, losing it out. It's something he's probably going to be wanting back. Chimps are pushing up pretty far, all the way up to the capture point of point B for the next team fight. Something we are used to seeing, but they're doing it without two of their members actually, as Nier over onto the Genji is falling back. So now the team's just pushing back to regroup. Gonna have a nice big brawl here in the streets with Tescu opening up another fight with the amplification matrix.
And I say there's nothing more that I love than a comp switch, but more importantly, a good Maywall that forces you back. This is going to be kind of slowing down the pace of the fight, and yet we still seem the Chimps, they really want to play aggressive with the wall, the window. Ooh, that hurts, though North is the one that's traded even if the advantage. Combined with the speed high noon, it is going to be eaten, but look, we're seeing that Gravazon Surge be built incredibly fast, and now used to move in. Phoenix getting just that 4K with the melee. It's absolutely toxic, it's rude, and it is a good way to capture that second point.
Took swapping from the Monkey to the Zarya, but this Phoenix has risen from the ashes to show that they are a force to be reckoned with. That was an absolutely incredible ultimate, an incredible ending to the team fight. Now as point B is captured, it's going to be a beautiful brawl from here on out. They've got Mad Circle and Polari on the side of Legion. Elf and Ben going to get their ultimates online, but that ultimate shatter from Synctra gonna open things up.
What can you do? The Blizzard got canceled midway. Nier is just looking like they're writing the people's names on the death note, shutting them down. They only have 2 ultimates to try and retake this back.
And those final blows going to Nier, absolutely, but we have to give credit to Synctra for that Earth Shatter, just laying out Legion for Nier's Blade to get all of the value.
Yep,
Sound barrier from Polari to open it up.
But they use that sound barrier, but it looks like the side of Legion are getting too much value. It does get blocked, and now the entirety of their team is immediately staggered. The last person being alive is going to be Elp, who is in the baby state, booped away, and the respawns just aren't in their favor. We do see the Doomfist come in, immediately get headshotted. There's nothing that Dave can't do. Now with Ben trying to do their best just to charge onto the point, it's not going to happen fast enough. That was a slight bit of a steamroll when it came to second to third, but still, a capture with 3 minutes and 18 seconds is absolutely phenomenal.
That was a rocky start over there on the capture point, but once that payload got unlocked, it was all the Chimps from there. There was nothing Legion could do to slow down that momentum.
I've got to say, it's a lot of unique ideas. Initially, I didn't expect that kind of monkey composition to work for too long, but then they hit with the switch, they go on to the Genji, and they just kind of beat the bro at something that they should initially be winning on. I think of a lot of ideas, and a lot of the side of Legion is struggling to kind of play that aggressive, play that forward, and maybe Phoenix is just putting up the heat, but we have to see some types of changes go in.
Yeah, Phoenix, sorry, I'm still not over that Zarya play. And now the Chimps are going to come out with the defensive composition that they saw Legion playing, that Cowboy, that Mei, the Rhine, and the Diva. So Legion, I don't know, if I'm Legion, what I'm looking to do here is just throw all the rule books out the window, throw all the planning out the window. You just need to come out with something that Chimps just don't understand what's happening. Your opponents can't counter you if you don't know what you're doing either. And Legion, I mean, don't go crazy, but Mad Circle over onto the Hanzo, they got Elf on the Zarya. Those Graph Dragon combos could be enough, but I don't know, only one way to find out. We're going to get there.
I definitely have to agree. They're very big ult combos, but you still need to take the first fight initiation build up to those ultimates. Already the Fire Strike's beaten to try to deny some ult charge, and the wall comes out. Ben is now stuck, manages to just barely escape. Gets that immortality is perfectly fine until you're frozen, taken out by Gallon. And now the rest of your team, they're looking like mice as they need to flee.
Yeah, an early shutdown there, taking out Ben. He does, as you said, survive the Mei wall, but Gallant was just over in there in the hotel. He wasn't even moving. He was just standing there, left-clicking into the side of Ben, and hey, it worked. You really got to pay attention to your corners if you're Legion. Make sure there's no one flanking you or anything of that sort if you're going to be able to push into this point. Oh, and an early loss of Swanky Pants. That
you can't even rotate out. The Mei wall stops the charging Ben trying to escape. The windows there denying anyone from escaping, though they do manage to find Near off of that quick engagement. Same with Phoenix. It seems that the Chimps have now punished themselves in a terrible scenario with Gallant not being able to retreat back to the shield. We now see Legion pushing forward. They have the high noon, so anyone trying to move out is going to be hit with it. Getting that stun, they managed to find out Funjin, and look at that aggression punished to its finest. As the Mei wall comes out, Ben just barely able to kind of help the team retreat back. They get to that second tick, third just barely there, and it doesn't seem that they want to try and contest it.
Gotta say, by rights, Legion had that fight lost. They somehow managed to pull it back, rip that curtain down. No, and there we go. Ultimate galore, a massive grab.
I've got to say, you're feeling a little bit interesting. Throw out the grab, you throw out the blizzard, you're looking to just take this early fight, shut them down, and look at this. Chimps really don't have much when it comes to stopping them from pushing. They just said, we'll kill you with one ultimate and make you waste your biggest.
And it's something that they're going to be wanting back for sure, but oh man, I don't even know where to begin there. Legion having their 4 ultimates online. Ben's going to get that shatter up soon. They're walking through the hallways. They do have the ability to push back. Chimps throwing 2 ultimates now, but if I'm Legion, that's what I want as the dragon comes out for them.
Yeah, you try to use the dragon to split them up. It doesn't work. Now you're moving forward, trying to be able to shut them down. Anyone who's coming out of the spawn room is just immediately dead.
It looks like they were trying to throw that to get the swap off because Mad Circle does go over onto the Reaper. And so still, I would be looking to use this Deadeye, but you want to bait out all the Chimps ults, right?
Yep, all the ultimates are coming out. That shatter is going to be blocked with the high noon going on to an opposite direction. They do manage to find out Ben, but nearest traded in the crossfire. Though it's all up to the Reinhardt to be able to kind of make this into their favor. You don't shut them down. Look, they're being able to push forward and basically consistently hold the spawn camp. Though with that window out, they do want to play natural cover. Look at that, Fujin's going to be caught out trying to retreat, and now they're slowly being caught. So managing to find out Ben with that charge is going to be a lucky saving grace because nobody can really truly fully put that aggression in because that Shatter's absolutely free. They're able to start moving in. But now, the entirety of your team is gone. You had a good time bank when it came to slowing them down, but now you just get a moment to breathe.
Oh, Sanctra's going to want that Shatter back. Hope you kept the receipt for it. It's not on warranty. Ben going... I don't know what had happened there, as Ben had a long charge out of the spawn before he got caught out in a pin by Sanctra, but it kind of worked out, that sacrificial lamb. They had allowed them to start to push in as he made some space with it. And now the cart's finally moving along. They're going to be able to get to point B, but there's an amplification matrix standing in their way.
Yeah, look at this. They're using that window just to slow them down. You can't turn that corner without getting hit with an immense amount of damage. They even force out the immortality just to try to help out Elf, but look at that, retreat's gone, and now they need to try to make an opening. The sound barrier being used while that bomb goes onto the opposite ring. They manage to find out Elf before they can retreat, and Near being able to kind of find out Ben. There's now no tank line protecting them, and they can just continuously move forward.
Yeah, they're going to push in back in full retreat once you lose those tanks. Near with the Doomfist, Overwatch 2's new tank, still putting out the damage that he needs here. And honestly, that's all you kind of need once the tank lines are down. North and Polari have their support ults online. Funjin does not have a sound barrier due to answering Elf self-destruct, so it's really going to be on Tescu to use that amplification matrix for healing if they are going to need to have this engagement here.
Yep, it's a good bomb to find out that immortality and leave the front line stuck to be immediately walked on. Now with Elf kind of being stuck on the shelf, they do manage to find out Near, but nothing to really help them in the future. I do gotta say though, the fact that Funjin is being able to help them move forward and keep the momentum up is what's keeping this aggression strong.
Yeah, that's the key point of a Lucio, getting your team where they need to be and keeping that momentum rolling, making sure you don't drop a beat. And now with more ultimates online for Legion, they have to be able to get some footing here. North's amplification matrix is going to be comboed with anything, we'll find out, but it's enough to get in.
The ego gets punished. Walk up immediately get flashed and killed in front of the window. Now Near, who wanted to try to get a pick off that kind of failure, is immediately shut down. Now they have to wait for the Reinhardt or choose to give up this point. They do possibly have one more fight if they kind of get it a bit early, but it's still going to be a type of struggle when it comes to the recontest. Already see them moving back in. They have to take their time. Don't rush anything. The sound barrier goes out and the Shatter gets black, but look at that, it's going to be countered out as we see Gallant being able to take out Ben. That blossom being used in the backline while we see Graviton Surge helping to clean up. That was almost a little scary, but it seems that they're just able to capture it with 2 minutes on a time bank. Not higher than the Chimps, but hey, it works.
It is still moving in. They don't ask how, they ask how many. You can get that third point and go into extra innings as long as you finish with some time left on the bank. So they're going to have to really just keep this cart moving, not let it stop. Near has that Meteor Strike online, and Funjin's coming up on the next sound barrier, so the Chimps are going to have a wonderful defensive opportunity here in this next fight.
Yep, look at this. Already the fight's coming out. They are going to be losing their main team, but the sound barrier gives them room to try to even things up for their scale. However, look at this. Legion, the Elf, manages to find out Near, and now they start pushing. That bomb's being thrown in a bit of an inspiration, wanting to find out anyone or slow down their engagement, but they're not really too concerned. They're able to continue to move forward. Even Funjin gets staggered by jumping inside the hole. And now, what do? You have to run back. You have to try to make something happen. The high noon there, it's kind of costing anyone to touch the point. We do see the Tracer get the initial touch, and now the Reinhardt's trying to do their best. That charge is going to be punished. The windows are trying to be popped out, but look at this. The Graviton Surge saved and built just perfectly to where nobody on the side of Chimps can stop it. They do manage to slow it down to 1 minute, and hey, you know what you can do in a minute.
There's absolutely nothing you can't do in a minute in a game like Overwatch. You can see it taken down to overtime before any progress is taken and still see the cart move all the way to the end of the map. There's really the time bank. All the time bank differential means is one team's going to set the win condition and the other one is going to have it set for them. That's it. There's nothing that ever says, oh, we've got a 3 minute and 24-second time bank to 1 minute. Well, it's obviously going to go the way of the Chimps. We've seen some crazy things happen in this league. There's nothing that's going to stop that from just happening again here tonight. So what is going to happen here? What is Legion going to have to do? They started to find their footing there at the end of the fight after a couple of compositional swaps. After pushing into point C, they really held on to their own. And the Chattanooga Chimps, I don't know what it could be. I've sort of been feeling like the more these fights get dragged on, the more that the momentum seems to swing in favor of Legion. The Chimps do thrive in chaos, but they seem to have that real controlled chaos. That sort of, we set the pacing, we set the tempo, and once they sort of lose control of that, that's where Legion seems to pick up the pieces. So Legion, I don't know if they've got what they need here. Looks like Mad Circle's going to go for an early pick on that Widowmaker, probably swap off right after. Gallant on the Hanzo instead of the Cowboy, another interesting pick. 60 seconds remaining, the doors are open. What's going to happen here in Kings Row?
My biggest fear when it comes to time banks like this is just not being able to get out anything. It's the most common, but it is the most stressful. We see them wanting to play around Shrine. They want to take that rotation through the hotel, or really Monastery, whatever you really want to call it. But unfortunately, Ben is going to be called out. Ben is going to be found before that immortality is there. Now that the rest of their team is immediately making the right decision. They want to die. You have one more fight in your bank, and you even get to pick onto Gallant. That works.
That's good stagger onto Gallant. Swanky Pants going over to the Symmetra, just trying to get everyone back in. But even with that stagger onto Gallant, look at his ultimate bank, 70% towards those dragons. So that's still going to make an appearance in this final fight once overtime gets triggered. Teleporter down, gets them on point, so we will see overtime happening. And that early pick onto Mad Circle, it might be what the Chimps need to shut everything down.
Yep, they're trying to use that shatter, able to find out north, but look at that, Ben's going to be sacrificed in the midway. It is one bit of a mess. However, the tank line combined with the dragons are going to split and manage to find out L. Before that tick can even be captured, we're going to be seeing Legion not being able to focus it out, as Chimps now have a sizable win condition here.
Yeah, the Chimps were able to maintain their control. As I was saying, that controlled chaos, they set the time, they set the pacing. The fights just couldn't drag on long enough for Legion to really get into that absolute carnage that they love to thrive on. Ben gets caught out by that May wall, and once he goes down, it's just all downhill from there. As you had said, the remaining teammates of Legion, they recognize the situation. They realize, hey, we don't have the main tank. We're not going to take this without a full 6-man push. They got those respawns down, but unfortunately, that still feeds ult charge into the Chattanooga Chimps and allows them to really just plant their feet down and say, you're not crossing this line. So Legion really going to have to try to force these fights to just drag on. If they can prevent Ben from falling early, then there's really nothing that's going to be stopping them. Ben going down seems to really hurt the team in more ways than one. I don't know if perhaps Ben is maybe the shot caller on the side of Legion, or just not having that shield is a big deal for the members of Legion. But Chimps, they just need to kind of move in, build up ult charge, take their time, and then, 60, 90 seconds later, everybody walk in, 6-man queue, and the match is over. So Legion have their work cut out for them.
And there's just so much you could do with 3 minutes and 22 seconds. You could make a good pizza baya with that, but it seems that they just want to walk out with what they're comfortable with. The Shimada brothers, the double shield in a smaller sense, but hey, it allows them to move forward. They are still going to take an immense amount of damage as Phoenix is already at half health. The Doomfist being able to try to find somebody, or at least poke them. It helps give room for the rest of the side of the Legion to take that aggression and slowly find them out. So at least they're building up this ult charge economy, so that even in the long term, they'll be fine.
Ben and Elf absolutely flattening the Chattanooga Chimps. Swanky Pants getting in one final blow with those spit knuckles, saying, hey, don't forget about me, I'm here too. But a swap from Near onto Farah, they recognize that Legion don't have anything to really counter that out. Aerial superiority could be what wins the day here.
Ooh, it might possibly be. Farah is such a good hero, but look, they're already taking this quick engagement, but the Doofus gets found out. Luckily, they do manage to find out Tess, so there's no Baptiste, but the res is there, and it is enabled. Frontline want to go after it, and that shatter is going to be blocked due to the Zarya bubble, so now we see on the side of Legion, they are panicking. They want to back up. They have that window, so once the enemy team start to push in, once the Chimps feeling a little bit hungry, they're not going to be able to do too much as we see them move out Near getting picked, both windows being used, but who's going to get value? It's not going to be the side of Chimps. Look at that, they lose their shield and their main tank. Now the rest of their team slowly being picked out.
They are using these ultimates, trying to shut down this fight. They're wanting that control, that tempo, the pacing that they are used to, and Legion is not letting it happen. Now with Phoenix having that grab online, Gallant is going to be picking up his Dragon Strike, but there's a Dragon Strike grab combo on the side of Legion as well, so it's going to be which team manages to get that out first.
It is seeming to be the grab dragons that goes out, although there was really only a Reinhardt there, and here uses that barrage trying to just take someone out, but takes out Swinky. So, hey, the grab works. You take out the most important person.
It was a wonderful defensive Grav Dragons combo, but now the Chattanooga Chimps have a Grav Dragon of their own. Legion is going to have to really be prepared. Polari does not have a sound barrier, so if it's not North's Immortality Field saving the day, they will not survive that combo, and it will allow the Chattanooga Chimps to finally take this point.
This is now where it matters the most. They've built up an ult economy. They pop out a grab of their own, and they shoot the dragons mid-through. Immortality not able to protect its line of sight usage. And it just seems that's truly what the Chimps needed, as they're going to be able to win out second point Kings Row.
An incredible fight. The coordination between Phoenix and Gallant to just fire the dragons through the hotel, letting them shut down, making sure his teammates rather shut down that immortality field to make sure these dragons get the value they need to give them map 2. Ooh, things are looking dire on the side of Legion.
Got to give Legion some credibility. That was a fantastic hold, which undeniably you really lost solely because of just the ult economy. I mean, definitely a few things could have been swapped out that would have made a big difference, but for a hold where you're not relying on kind of just beating the teams out solely with your ultimates, it was a great hold. I think with a higher time bank, they definitely would have been able to kind of bring that into more of a victory.
Absolutely. The time bank still showing off why it's still important, just not always a guaranteed time maker. So we are going to be going into, I believe, a pure escort map here after, that 4-3 victory for the Chattanooga Chimps on Kings Row. They are a map away from completing a sweep on Legion. Unfortunately for Legion, that would be the second night in a row that such a thing happens. And that's going to be heartbreaking. But if you're Legion, if you still lose out this series, things are not all as bad as it could be, because we've recently received word that I believe it was the LSFC, third place in Group Shield, the team has actually dropped out of the Inspire Esports preseason tournament. So Group Shield now only has 4 teams on their side: the Chattanooga Chimps, the Legion, the Meat Mafia, and the Washington Washers. So Legion currently sitting in 4th place of Group Shield. They're now probably, in a technical sense, you could say, moving up to 3rd place. And kind of can't really get any worse than 4th place because that's the amount of teams that you have. So silver lining, but the escort map of Watchpoint Gibraltar is going to be where Legion have the chance to shine. Their match last night against the Meat Mafia, the escort map is really where they put up their biggest fight. They were absolutely dominant. Despite losing out on the map, I believe it went to extra innings both times. Final score was 5-4. Both teams managing to take a capture point on extra innings. And so, if I'm Chattanooga Chimps, you play comfortable. You pick what you're used to. You run these compositions that maybe aren't necessarily tried and true for the map. You want to focus on your strengths as the Chattanooga Chimps and just let the game play out as it will. Legion really need to have this high octane play style, take the fight to the Chimps, don't let them get comfortable, don't let them get complacent, and really force the Chimps into making a mistake. You don't need to play for the victory here if you're Legion, you just need to play for the next checkpoint. Just keep taking it one step at a time. If you're able to keep your team alive and force the opponents into making those mistakes, you'll be able to find all the tools that you need to take this victory and keep this match going into a map 4, which could really get into the Chimps' head if they manage to drop a map in this series to the Legion.
Hey, I could see it going both ways. I definitely think just with the name Chimps, they're probably really proficient when it comes to the dive. It just makes sense. I don't think you named yourself otherwise. But I definitely see kind of Legion taking out the advantage. I think this is now finally where they have warmed themselves up, as you said. And with the double bubble, it truly brings in kind of the interesting ideas to take these engagements.
Double Bubble, a very comfortable composition on this map, something you see on the attacker side, the defender side. Attackers normally, we can sometimes see a Symmetra teleport the teams across to the bridge. We may or may not see that near teasing the dive and the echo. But Swanky Pants, if they do run the Echo, Swanky Pants on that Ashe, they have the counter they need to kind of pressure Nier out of the sky. So it's going to be an interesting fight no matter what side you're on. But the doors are opening, and it is time to find out if Legion has what it takes to take a map off the Chattanooga Chimps.
A little bit of a ooga boogling as they're just looking at each other. We do see the monkeys being able to try to take over this high ground, though that boop is going to stop them from trying to be too much kind of in their face. However, look at this, the counter dive going out. They're able to play onto this high ground. Sneaky Panks is going to be taking a lot of initial damage, however, is perfectly fine. Does manage to back up, and the counter dive is now there from Ben. Though they do force Gallant out of there, that payload is just continuously being moved underneath. And with that pig onto the side of their monkey, well, Chimps have nothing else to do but to stay underneath, try to LOS them. Though we see the drop coming from Ben, trying to help them out, just to be able to move forward. They take so much initial poke that the Chimps have to play a bit more carefully.
Yeah, they are pushed back off of the cart after losing Singtra and Nier, but they have the full regroup here, and the ultimate economy looking on average equal between the two teams. Funjin having much more build up towards the rally than Polari, but Bob is online for Swanky Pants and see if he makes an appearance. There he is.
Yep, we see the Bob being used. It's going to be able to hit out the monkey in the air and do an immense amount of poke. What can you do against the 7th hero in Overwatch? Try and burst it down in that position? No. You're having to just move back. You're trying to get some poke. Maybe somebody out of this fight. Unfortunately, though, Ben doesn't get any healing or pops the Primal just to be able to save themselves. So now the Nano Blade is such a massive win condition that you're almost able to kind of one-shot North until you're able to get that peel in from your monkey, get that healing. It works as a disengagement or kind of scary ability, and you don't really find anyone else out of it, though you do set yourself up for good freedom.
Mad Circles, Pulse Bomb not finding any value over on the cart, tried to take out Funjin. The Nano now coming out from North, Angry Monkey goes burr.
Yep, they want to do their best, using that Primal Race. They're able to take out Funjin, which is going to be an issue without that break to defend her. Ana, you're basically going to be booped around until you're eventually picked off. Now that payload is so close to being captured, though they don't have true control. The entirety of the side of Chimps are going to be split, looking to retreat and not stagger themselves.
Yeah, you have to give credit to North in that team fight. Singtra also popping the Primal Rage and trying to beat everyone away from the cart to let the Chimps get that capture point, and North with a critical sleep dart, and they just left Singtra to wait out the time of his Primal Rage as he just napped it away. So now the Chimps really got to make something happen, and that push is probably going to be stopping dead right there with the loss of Gallant. They're going to wait for the full man regroup.
Yep, beautiful counter dive coming out. They stopped this fight truly before it can really even commence. Nier does have the compy just to be able to kind of help them out when it comes in, but they're still having issues when it comes to the engagement.
Losing Nier as well in that fight. They've got the duplicate. Both teams have a rally, but Elf and Swanky Pants have their ults online as well, so there's plenty of answer for the duplication, no matter who they pick up. Here comes Bob.
Look at that, Bob going out, the Graviton Surge, 2 of them actually looking to do their best. Seems Gallant was able to deflect one out from Elf, causing that ultimate to be gone from their side, and a bit of a stress to kind of go down their brow. Elf no longer is going to be in this fight. They're relying onto the Nano and Rally just to be able to peel things out as kind of Tis is being pressured, though they're able to retreat. They're able to kind of make them play around. That anti-hitting Ben is going to be a future issue, though they're not really stopping much. That Blade now coming onto the op into high ground has to do something. It manages to find out North, goes back up trying to do much, and really only kind of evens up this fight while Phoenix is trying to be able to take out Ben. It looks like they finally get that favor in while the rest of the daggers come in from the Legion, and truly the break that's going to be able to have the long-term effect. Basically your mini Reinhardt in helping out Elf when it comes to just the stall. We see the rest of Chimps wanting to do their best when it comes to just trying to push this payload. They managed to find out Elf, but now the rest of the team is slowly coming in. The Winston returns back saying, you can't have my point, it's my peanut butter, and now they just have full control over this. The rest as on the side of the Chimps try to do as much, but with this Bob there, what are you really going to do without one of your big ultimates to try to win this out? Phoenix is able to find out Swanky Pants, and the Primaling is helping them to move around. Combined with the Graviton Surge onto the point, they have to keep touching or else they will lose this 10 out of 10. The Legion are now down the majority of their team, down 3, and so they do have a moment for the side of the Chimps to be able to capture, but with this target focus, it seems that this is finally going to be in their favor. From scary to working, we see them bring it home.
As I said before, once these fights enter absolute carnage and chaos, pure entropy, that is where Legion thrives. Not Legion, the Chimps actually won that one, forgive me there, but the blue ribbon going to Elf, despite losing out on that point in the end, swapping the ball and managing twice to buy enough time for the rest of Legion to get back. Absolutely phenomenal play there from Elf. The survivability with those adaptive shields, incredible.
Yep, look, we're already going to be seeing them come out, and I do think this is going to be a little bit better just to be able to hold, because look, they're already moving that payload underneath you. How are you really supposed to walk into that? They're just kind of looking to set up.
Set up, they've got Gallant over there on the side, hacks the health pack and is going to lose life to Mad Circle, barely translocating out. And now this is what's really going to kick that fight off.
Yep, now that they're moving forward, North does have that nano to be able to help the Monkey when things get a little bit dangerous, but it seems that Swinky Pants is just able to kind of take out Gallant and take everyone else out. Soldier's such an underrated hero sometimes. Just look how much consistent damage he's pumping in. The rally being used so they can kind of move forward, and they get the ante onto the Winston, so now the entirety of Chimps need to come up with a plan B if they want Rune to be able to take this back.
The D-Mech onto Phoenix is going to be running around trying to lose himself, and they're just going to play with him. That's so no bueno. Bullying, you're bullying. There it is. That's a lot of time off the bank. And now with Funjin's Sound Barrier, Tescu might be able to get that Coalescence online. Actually, probably will get that Coalescence online. So they'll have the support ults to move in. They'll be able to counter out Swanky Pants' Visor. But North's Nano probably going to be going onto the Visor. Could spell disaster for the Chattanooga Chimps. It might be what they need to win it out, but they sent it to Ben instead.
That was an interesting sound barrier, feeling just a bit of pressure. They use it, and it seems that they want to put their focus onto Swanky, who's alone onto the high ground. Now moving in, using that Coalescence as the engager. The entirety of the Legion are completely split, not being able to work together or really try to peel for one another. We see North being bullied out by the Monkey. Now that bomb being used just to help re-engage. There are still 3 people and Swanky who come back with the Visor looking to pick them off, but they're perfectly hidden with inside their own bubble. And they're sitting onto the point, combined with the EMP, finding out that many. Wow, I've got to say, it just comes in a little too late. It was so close to being perfect, but the Graviton Surge coming in from Elf helps out more than enough. Now Nier just wanted to do their best, trying to win 1v6 with that. Well, it just leaves nothing but hope.
Elf had to have fired that frames before Gallant threw the EMP. They came out almost synchronous to one another. And unfortunately for Gallant, as you'd said, just a frame or two too late to cancel out the grav. And so the Chimps just wound up getting caught out in it. And from there, it was a quick cleanup for the Legion to take the defense and draw the line in the sand. This is where they can take a map off of the Chimps and begin what could hopefully be a reverse sweep, could start a beautiful underdog story. So they're really going to have to buckle down, play to their strengths, and just keep the Chattanooga Chimps on a constant recoil on their toes if they're going to have any hope of taking it here.
I definitely have to agree. We do see some kind of comp switches, but I'm more interested to see how Chimps want to be playing faster. They really do want to be moving forward, but they're not being able to do much. This is truly where Swanky and the support side of the Legion are showing the ability to be able to play at a kind of better level than I truly expected. They have been peeling in for each other, finding out these picks, and defending things so beautifully that you really just need Elf and Ben to kind of peel in, have faster engagements, just to be able to bring it back, while Chimps, they just seem to have kind of a small better tank line, but other than that, not too much.
Yeah, this dive tank combo with the Wrecking Ball and the Diva going to be an interesting play. They've got Nier over onto the Soldier for that consistent damage output. Mad Circle swaps as Ben falls. Already this fight is just going off the rails.
That hurts. That definitely hurts. Reminds me of 2014. However, it looks like Swanky Pants is going to be going back to that realm as they're just not going to stay alive. Though with the counter of Nier going back to the Shadow Realm, it kind of feels a bit more favorable. The spawn advantage is in the favor of the Legions. So while we see this dive come out, one to try to take out the Echoes on the bottom of the point, Ben is perfectly able to isolate the support line who are kind of stuck on the high ground, and now there's a DMAC going on to Phoenix, and you really got to be feeling a little goofy for trying to take the dive head on with this type of composition, especially when your Wrecking Ball moving back in, now your entire team is going out, and your Brig, well, they're going to be focused out by the Echo. Now the rest of your team stuck in very unfavorable positions.
Yeah, some respawns coming through. They will be able to touch it out one more time to slow it down, most likely with Phoenix's mech. There it is. They get down with the amplification matrix. And now we've just got North sitting comfortably in the server room, keeping the team alive. Yeah, Legion really know what they're doing here.
Yep, they feel so confident on it right now. Look at this. We see the visor now built, and it does help to take out Mad Circle. This is kind of the saving grace that they had, but they do have the rally on the side of the Legion after saving, stocking up, and pushing forward. Now with very little to touch onto the point, it seems Elf's going to be using the pulse bomb to be able to kill Gallon as it was their own. And with the return of Ben, they're going to be able to get a free capture onto that 4 minutes and 50 seconds to only cap about halfway of second point. Already with the street phase going inside their favor, there's not much to worry about.
An incredible play, some amazing game sense from Elf to realize Gallant had thrown a pulse bomb on the ground and to grab him back on top of it to get that self-elimination. They have an incredible time bank, and they are already more than halfway to that yellow box of victory. Could this be the moment where Legion shines? They've got DPS ults coming out, Mad Circle onto the Diva with that duplication. This might be it.
Yep, that payload's continuing to move forward combined with the visor. It's set for greatness. However, we see the mines bling them. They can't really touch the point, and the bomb was able to find out Mad Circle. Now they really want to just focus things out, or at least stop the stall coming out from the side of Chimps. With this rally being there, the Ben is going to use the primal to stop them, and look, keeping their hopes alive. Legion managed to take when it comes to Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Legion, I don't know, we're going to have to get some tournament officials on board for this, have an investigation, because Legion just running around with Britain's biggest clock tower, Big Ben, on their team, just, you can't go through him, he just beats you away. An incredible performance from Legion, showing that they are not down and out yet. Look at this from Mad Circle. Just an incredible performance. They really were able to show off that once they are able to get into control with the momentum and just play these compositions that they know works, kind of this slightly wacky, like tried and true comp, but take one person and just, you know, just none pizza left beef a random person in there for the sixth hero. Oh, the odd tracer, the odd echo, throw the soldier up on top, something that the other team's not expecting. And it was enough for Legion to finally take the map off. They're getting their footing now. We might see a nice big pullback here.
Momentum is something in Overwatch that defines a fight, and Legion have definitely sort of swung this back into kind of their favor. Being able to win out on Watchpoint Gibraltar means a lot, especially when you were almost able to full hold. It shows that you're starting to build things back up, and continuing forward, Chimps really need to start worrying if they want to be able to consistently win when it comes to how they take these fights, especially because the next map is definitely going to be a 2CP, or at least I'd like to believe so. You never know, but I think when it comes to 2CP, that's where your momentum truly matters. If you're not playing fast, if you're not playing quick, then you're really going to be struggling. And Chimps, they want to be winning with as many maps in their favor if they want the map differential.
Yeah, they will. Luckily for them, they will absolutely take first place with any map differential if they manage to win the series, because there is a single map difference between Shoonsgoons in first place, 5-0 with a positive 12 spread, and the Chattanooga Chimps currently 4-0 with a positive 11. Unless Legion manages to take this next map as well and then force Chattanooga Chimps to take it in map 5, they will be able to take that map differential lead. Legion looking to play spoiler right here, up their own standing, pad some stats, try to get that better seeding. They are out for blood here. We're going to be going to Hanamura, another, despite the map type, I would say arguably the favorite 2CP map. The one that everybody, or at least in my personal experience with Overwatch, it's the one that nobody complains about. You see plenty of complaints about Paris, you see a couple about Temple of Anubis, and there's another one that's currently slipping my mind at the moment. Volskaya Industries gets a couple of complaints as well. I have honestly never heard any bad standings about Hanamura. Now, go on. I know you got something for me.
Are you serious, Bramble?
I'm absolutely serious. Oh no, I'm not saying there haven't been complaints about Hanamura. We know they exist. I personally have not heard anything negative about Hanamura.
What
I actually kind of
are you then?
What caster am I? I'm a bush, Intel. I'm a great bush. Legion, however, is not a bush. They are Legion. They are many. They're going to be looking to snowball the momentum that they just took off of Watchpoint Gibraltar. Are we going to see a symmetric telepoint to point? Possibly. Are we going to see a dive-heavy composition? Possibly. They look to thrive when they have chaos and carnage, just absolutely splitting the chimps in multiple directions. So splitting the attention with a Symmetra teleporter that may or may not be taken, playing something dive heavy, but then still having somebody that's a bit more of a static hero, such as a Soldier, an Ashe, a Hanzo, could be playing very much into their favor. The Chattanooga Chimps controlled chaos. I would not be surprised if we see a Doomfist get pulled down, probably more on point B than point A. Some aerial superiority. Nier put on a pretty wonderful performance with that Pharah back on King's Row. There's really no limitations. Imagination, sky's the limit to the sort of compositions that we can see. But there is really the door is open for Legion. The door is unlocked. It is cracked open. The underdog story can begin here, take off from here. Chimps, they just need to, again, play comfortable. They maybe got a little too complacent over there on the first push of Watchpoint Gibraltar. They let it get away from them. They let it slip through their fingers. It looked like they maybe potentially tried to force a composition or a play style that they weren't accustomed to on Watchpoint Gibraltar, or maybe they just weren't accustomed to the map as a whole and they maybe scrimmed on other pure escort maps. So it's about finding where your comfort zone is and sticking with it. Saintra has already proven time and time again that I'm not about to go out here and say that they are the better main tank between the two teams, but they have absolutely been the more aware main tank. Ben, being the first elimination in many of these team fights, has cost Legion multiple times throughout this series. Saintra has fallen first in some of these team fights, but it hasn't been as often, and even when he has, the remainder of Chimps have been able to rally around that, and it's been in situations where it's not, oh, we lost the shield, fight's over. Ben, I don't want to put the pressure on you, buddy. You did great on Watchpoint Gibraltar, but you gotta stay alive if you want the hopes and dreams of Legion's victory to stay alive as well. Elf has been doing an incredible job with the supporting the supporting role of the off tank. The Rein Zarya play was incredible. The bubbles from Elf, insane. Beautiful grabs, especially back at Watchpoint Gibraltar, having that awareness to take out Gallant. And the double bubble, hey, there it is. We saw it on Watchpoint Gibraltar. The bubbles from Elf didn't always keep, wouldn't say they always kept Ben alive, but they were enough that Elf themselves were able to have a lot of ultimate charge, a lot of power charge as Zarya. So the Legion, just keep doing what you're doing. Chimps looking to come out here possibly with a double shield lineup, May Symmetra. Let's see if that sticks when the doors open. But the Legion is comfortable. Are the Chimps comfortable? We're going to find out. This is where dreams are made or broken. In a 2-1 series, the door's opening on Hanamura. Here we go. What's going to happen? Take us through it, Intel.
a lot of people don't realize that this is, you know, we've casted a lot together. But, you know, we haven't casted in a while, so now we're going back in. You've already ruined my heart by never hearing me once when I complain about Hanamura, because they are looking to teleport onto that top high ground. And look, they're making split. Mir is going to miss out that Maywall and immediately tried to be pressured out. Though this good peel manages to help protect. They're playing this double shield. Fairly interesting, though, looking to want to both split onto the high ground and below the side of the Chimps take full control as this double bubble is going to struggle to try to move in without any affirmative action. Already being able to take out those sim turrets, but that first take is now into the favor of Chimps, and they're still feeling fine. Alpha is going to be found out. The break wanting to try to just contest that point. Eventually, Mad Circle gets found. Now, nobody onto the side of Legion can truly move forward. Think they really planned this out differently, but they've lost a chance to hold this.
Ooh, I gotta say, Phoenix must have a lucky rabbit's foot or something in their pocket. Gallant put down a Symmetra teleporter to send somebody up into that window and pressure out North and Swanky. Phoenix went up alone, and then Nier walled off his own Orisa, and somehow they managed to walk out of that alive without losing anyone until Tescu and Gallant fell right here.
Look at that, already moving back into the next fight. It does seem that the recovery is there. Normally teams tend to get snowballed, but it seems that they are feeling fine and being able to reset.
Look, I gotta give you a hard time about how much you dislike Hanamura, otherwise it's not a casting match with us, am I right?
Oh, very, very, very. I do not like Hanamura. Those respawns are so unfair at times, and it can be very frustrating for the attacking side. That's why you already see them switch to a faster composition with a D.Va instead of the Orisa.
Yep, they have the Blizzard, the Sound Barrier. Gallant and Synctra will see those ults come online in this fight, but now Ben, Elf, Swanky, Circle, Polari, and North, the entirety of Legion will have ultimates in this fight as the Blizzard comes out up top to stop Big Ben.
Hey, they do it, and I think it's completely viable. Now with that sound barrier popping out, you really gotta be stopping that bot from having much. That's why the window goes down mid-center. Although the post bomb does help to take out Gallant, you're still at a major disadvantage. The rally does give you that sustain until you're eventually kind of snipped off like a snake or a worm, and now the dive is somewhat split. Tish now being focused off to the high ground. This is now where the respawns are somewhat in favor when it comes to the Legion, as you see them returning back. That window, though, pumping in that extra damage, the Shatter being able to kill out Ben. They are going to have a chance to cap this point. Not at the funny number, but rather they're going to be able to sustain it and keep it at 4 minutes and 16 seconds.
Oh, an absolutely blistering pace here on the side of Chattanooga Chimps. Tescu, gotta give credit to Ben for registering that the Baptiste was going uncontested in that upper side, the top right from the defender standpoint, and Tescu was just spamming down the ultimates, being an absolute heal bot with that Baptiste. Ben dove in, managed to push him off the high ground. It definitely gave the Legion their best fighting chance, but it unfortunately was not enough in that final fight. So the Chattanooga Chimps have set a rather large win condition, and it's going to take some real laser focus from Legion to pull this out and make it happen. The Chattanooga Chimps going to be coming out here on defense with a Rhine Sigma double shield, and Nier and Gallant once again pulling the May Symmetra combo. Very much looking to pull a don't cross this line composition. They are looking to have full control in these team fights, and I gotta say, it worked out for them on the attack, especially with that big Blizzard to take out Big Ben in the top portion when he hit that Primal Rage. 1000 HP is no joke, nothing to scoff at, and they managed to burn it down in record time. So now, Legion coming out with the same composition the Chimps used on their attack, double shield, pure double shield, and a Symmetra, May, Lucio Bap. They're going to have to try to get into the point and really just shut down this defense hard and fast.
Yeah, it's what the TP strategy kind of works well on, as you already see them wanting to take that high ground, though they don't really all take it. It seems the Baptiste was the only one who managed to, and now this is where they kind of have to try to take a rotation to get their advantage, but they've lost North, not really looking too great. Near just being able to find these picks, going inside the back line, and just clicking heads truly means a lot, and now they win that first fight. You gotta be saying to yourself, how did we lose that?
They had the wherewithal to realize Polari and North had fallen, and they turned around to run, but Nier was not about to let that happen. Swanky Pants, Ben Elf, Polari, Mad Circle, all pulling swap. I believe North swapped as well. Yep, to the Ana. So a full dive composition now on the side of Chimps. They realize there's nothing to counter out that aerial superiority. So Swanky looking to really put some damage in from the sky.
Yeah, now I do think the Far Mercy works, although the teleporter is going to be allowing them to move back and forth. They truly can take the fight in whatever way they want when it comes to the side of the Chimps, although losing that Symmetra is going to be hurting. They do teleport back to the point, and they're working as a team, so it's less of an issue combined with the Blizzard. It's all up to Elf to try to shut it down and eat it. The mid wall is going to be stopping anyone from moving in, so they take that rotation, though Swanky is going to go down. The Mercy is in a free roam to kind of res it until the Blizzard gets used solely onto them, shuts them down. Now the Diva's going to be staggered for a little bit of time. The dive needs to be coming up with another plan, just not being able to move in fast enough to shut them down.
Yes, a cheeky meme Blizzard to prevent Polari from getting that res off. But it was enough that Legion was able to build up a couple of ults, a Pulse Bomb, a Barrage. They'll probably be seeing Primal Rage come out in this next fight as well. But there's plenty of answer on the side of the Chimps. The Shatter, the Flux, the Sim Wall, and the Lucio Sound Barrier, all viable candidates to stop this next push. Swanky going down early.
Oh, that hurts so much. I don't know if it's in the best resable position as we see them already struggling. Though the Shatter is going to help make up for their first initial loss of their support. They really are feeling fine, though Ben's Primal is looking to kind of even things out. We are going to be seeing this go more into the favor of the side of the Chimps as that Symmetra Beam just does too much damage.
Somehow, Mad Circle and Tescu finding themselves going over the edge of the map. Potentially a bad recall on the side of Circle, but Tess, I'm not really sure what happened there. So now, Mad Circle swapping over onto the Cowboy, trying to get some distance out, put a little pressure on the shields, and see what they can come out with. But still, 3 ults on the side of the Chimps to the Valkyrie Barrage and Self-Destruct of the Legion. They're going to have to pull it out here and make something happen. There's the Barrage!
Yeah, they're going to be able to use it to get that good initial 2K. The other sound barrier issues trying to even things out. They aren't going to be able to teleport back to the point. Now we are seeing the side of the Legion finally having to be able to play and move forward. That res making sure that Ben comes back. Chimps feeling a little bit out of place as the entirety of their team is going to be going back to the spawn room. Though the Lucio lowering down that time bank by a couple seconds. They already have a better time bank as it is, so you've got to be feeling proud of that. Although, when it comes to this hold on to second point, it's truly where it matters the most.
Yep, this is it. You can play for extra innings if you're Legion, or you could play for the win if you're Chimps. And a whole minute separating these time banks already. The Chimps only have a Blizzard and a Shatter to stop this next push. North and Elf have their ults ready. That Nano probably going to be going to Ben to set up the next Primal Rage. And Elf Self-Destruct is going to be a wonderful zoning ult, potentially to get the Chimps off of the high ground. So this is going to be... honestly, it's going to be this push, or it's going to be a minute until the next push comes down. And with Gallant falling early,
it hurts though. They got hit with a massive anti. Now they don't get room to use that EMP. We're seeing as the entirety of Legion have just taken advantage of their bad ult usage and are moving forward. That first tick being captured. Gallant is switching over to the Doomfist with the second tick captured, looking to find out anyone. However, that Pharah is free in the sky and is freely getting out an immense amount of burst damage. Now with no Primal Rage built and the High Noon looking to find anyone out, they are able to capture the second point, lowering down the time bank, making sure they have 2 minutes to push against 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
Brought it down a little bit. Wonderful, wonderful, astronomically wonderful ultimate usage on the side of Legion. That big Blizzard. Synctra tried his best to shut down that push with a wonderful Shatter onto Elf. And Elf just said, okay, you're going to shatter me, break my mech, I'll just blow it up in your face and get a new one down there on the point. And that's exactly what he did. There was no one there to follow up on that shatter from Synctra as his team had fallen around him. All credit, though, that entire fight became completely viable due to North. A perfectly placed anti-healing grenade from North's Ana to deny any healing from Funjin and Tescu onto the opening portion of that fight. Chef kiss, perfection, whatever else meme you want to put right there to say North gold medal to you in that final fight. The final blows might not have gone your way, but if it wasn't for that, the Chimps might have had some survivability to pull that out of their pocket.
Yeah, I definitely gotta say. Also, kind of had a confusing couple first ults to use. Although the North is really cold, so it's definitely understandable to be seeing how the way that they are playing. But this is where it matters the most. They need to kind of lower this time bank down. It is a 2CP, so you can either get this down to 1 tick or to no ticks. It's generally how you really want it to be. With the Symmetra being online, they do have room to teleport around with this slow engagement kind of going out. Swanky does want to kind of play more back, try to just get poke damage, doesn't want to be found out while the rest of the dive is using their resources more of a disengagement rather than an engagement until Ben makes me prove myself wrong, immediately gets picked off because of it, misplacing that bubble. Now the rest of their team having to just back up. You can't move without your main tank.
No, not going to get anywhere without that. They're still sitting pretty, though, is Legion, having a composition that they know works, near having a cheeky little nap, courtesy of North. They knew this composition worked. This dive Pharah composition let them take point A the first time. They didn't mess around. They went right to it, and Mad Circle having Dragons online already, mostly going to be a zoning ult since they have that Symmetra teleporter to get them back to the point, but it's going to open the door to get them in with Tescue's Amplification Matrix opening this fight up for good.
Yep, look at this. Already they have that window up to slow them down, and they're able to find a Mad Circle. That res has to be used onto the Hanzo, which isn't as viable. Now the Dragon's going in, splits them up, looking to find out anyone as possible, though they rotate back to the point feeling fine. Sound Barrier versus the Valkyrie, what matters the most, it's the fact that the Blizzard gets combined with the Sim Wall, looking to find out any targets. It does split them up. They lose both tanks on even sides, though it looks like Phoenix is the one that's going to be going down on the off-tank area. Now this is where Swanky's just being able to kind of push and eventually gets picked off as the peel comes back. Now they are at a major disadvantage. It's less than 20 seconds. They don't have their full team, and they not only need someone to touch, but they need to be able to win this out. Finding North is going to be major, and Mad Circle, that's even better. They have to use that rest just to bring North in for that extra healing, but the ultimate economy is no longer in their favor. Look for that barrage, but the Shatter being able to not only find out the monkey, but the off-tank. Now they're pushing forward. You may be able to find something as you walk in with the barrage, but it's obvious you get found out and you get shut down. Now they have to try to bring this to a draw or it's all over.
Synctra being the only victim to fall to the barrage in that final fight. Elf, unfortunately, Elf got caught out early in that fight, getting demeched, and spent a very large portion of that final fight as Baby Diva, and they were so close to their self-destruct as well. I believe they were at 93% when they managed to remech, and unfortunately, Elf was the only person close enough and that had the mobility to get in for overtime there in that final push. And they got shattered by Synctra, lost the mech at 98% of their self-destruct, and then their life immediately afterwards. And from there, there was nothing that the Legion could have done to get in. It was all down from there. Polari's res had been used on North. Swanky was already coming back from spawn. Mad Circle getting picked out immediately after the res got used, about 5 seconds before overtime happened, meant that Mad was going to have an incredibly long respawn time as well. So once Elf fell, lost the mech, that was it. They're going for a double shield composition here. Orisa, Sigma, Pharah, and Torbjorn looking to get a lot of stall, a lot of cheese, a lot of threat from that Torbjorn turret. And Swanky has been having a pretty good performance on the Pharah. So the Chimps, a tick is all you need to take this map away. It's King's Row all over again. Play slow, build your ultimate economy up, and then everybody press Q to get in there and end the fight.
Look at this. They are playing that spam to be able to find, but the teleport onto the high ground, not to the point. They want to take the fight directly, but the Symmetra really didn't catch the gist of the idea. I said the only one who moves forward. Though that even trade onto Swanky kind of helps you out. The Brawl is going to have a better effect going up against. Though that res is pretty much allowed and their attention is split, it seems the double shields being able to find things out, but Tess is somehow finding out the fire consistently. Now they don't really have too much besides from just trying to poke things out. There is a Baby Diva as the last person left, but that just hurts to see them fail.
A very wonderful hold there on the side of Legion. They got that res off onto, I believe it was Swanky, so everyone staying on the fight. No other eliminations rolling through, nobody coming back from spawn. Mad Circle almost having that Molten Core, Polari almost having that Valkyrie, and Elf, Swanky, and Ben right behind them in terms of ultimate economy. Gallant does not have that wall. Tests his Amplification Matrix. The only ult they have to move in with is thrown early.
They're really fighting. They find out the mad Swedish boy. As we see Swanky being able to find out Test, the Brawl is trying to slow them down, but the Far is freely uncontested, being able to move in and feel perfectly fine, getting the consistent final blows. It just seems that Chimps are struggling to kind of have that consistency on the point.
Phoenix throwing themselves over the edge because they know that they are not going to get taken out from the members of Legion. So a smart play on their part, and look at this ultimate economy. A self-destruct for Phoenix, possibly a sound barrier for Fungin. A Blizzard for Nier versus Molten Core, Amplification Matrix, Barrage, Gravitic Flux, and Orisa's Bongo Drum. Teleporter to point is going to be their desperation move here.
Yep, they have to make something out of it. Though that Gravitic Flux pull slams them down to the point, causing that half health. Though
Polari!
The barrage is countered out. It seems that this is now an ult fest. They want to make something happen. The Molten Core is just not enough to stall them out as the Torbjorn gets picked, and it just seems the Chimps, they pressed Q harder, they pressed it better, and they seem to win in a 3-1 series.
3-1. Hey, Legion, again, the silver lining, you take that map victory, you didn't get swept. It was an amazing effort. Don't let the scoreboard fool you. Legion did put up an incredible fight. I mean, look at this performance from Swanky on this Pharah, finding one, finding two, and then finding another setup. 3, absolutely wonderful.
Yeah,
You fought hard, you be proud of that, but you went up against the #1 team.
Yeah, I've got to say, it was a way more impressive performance than calling Gohan Goku by Spooky. So, you know, you got to be feeling a little bit proud of yourself. And I think continuing forward, you've got a lot of room to improve and at least figure things out. I think Legion, they definitely looked so good the more that they played. And unfortunately, kind of came down to what happened on King's Row, where it was just Q, 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 Q. And really, you can't say anything other than that, but GG go next, you know?
You fought hard, you did what you could. There's not much more you can ask for from that. We will be sending it to a quick break. Stick with us, ladies and gentlemen, while we set up our post-match interview with one of the members of your winners, the Chattanooga Chimps.
Welcome back, everyone, as we here lying with the victors. We've had a pretty intense match, came close to the end, but not truly finished out. Now, with one of the best teams lying on the side, we had to sit to ourselves and decide who we wanted to bring in, and we decided to bring in the beautiful main tank themselves. How are you doing?
I am doing very well. My name is Singthra. I'm the main tank and team owner for the Chattanooga Chimps, and I am very glad to be here.
I've got to say, it's absolutely beautiful. So we're not going to keep you here for too long. Normally, the way we like to have this work is like 2 questions each, and then we'll let you kind of go ape wherever you want. But honestly, Chimps, I've got to say, you had an apprentice performance. So what was your initial hopes and ideas going into this match? Because obviously, you're one of the higher seeded teams, and when it comes to scoreline, so was this like a game where you definitely wanted to win, or just meme around with?
Oh yeah, no, we came into this with the full intention of coming in here to win, coming in here to make this as unclose of a game as possible because we knew that if we won this game in a 3-1 fashion, we would secure ourselves the number one seed in the tournament overall, and we did just that. The Chimps are now the number one seed in Inspire, and I'm very proud of my guys and what we've achieved. Our game plan coming into this was pretty much to mirror brawl. I'm a Rhine player. We got Tess on the BAP. His BAP is very very good. And just generally speaking, our team is very good at brawl in general. We thought we were pretty good at dive too, but Gibraltar said no to that as well. I'm sure we'll get into in a moment. But yeah, we just wanted to run brawl into them. We watched a little bit of the Meat Mafia game before that, and they kind of ran brawl into them as well. And they looked okay. Like Legion looked okay. So we came into this understanding that this is a losable game and just wanted to take it seriously and give some respect to our opponents. But also we deduced in the middle of the game that this team seems like they're very momentum based, and so we just wanted to keep up the pressure, keep up the pressure, keep up the pressure. And that's part of what you saw on Kings Row when we were holding sort of in their spawn on attack or on our defense point B.
Well, somebody's been breaking into my office and taking my notebook. This man's out here answering all of my questions before I can even ask them.
Well,
Good
sorry.
at Ryan, good at Winston, and Psychic. Is there anything that you can't do?
Ball, as we saw in Gibraltar.
I definitely agree, and I guess
Yeah.
that kind of comes into my question: is what happened on Gibraltar? What really slowed you guys down, or gave you the biggest issues, and then made you decide to rock the wrecking ball?
Okay, so have you ever seen like a slow motion car crash?
Yes.
Yeah, you just did. Um, so in the middle of the after we got rolled on our attack, I think Fungin or something like that just said Singtra, play ball or something like that, and I'm like okay, and I'm not very good at playing ball, especially not on this map, and yeah, but I think just generally speaking, our coordination was not good. We kept trying to go for high ground control, like on the blue box and the like, and they just were able to repel each and every one of our dive attempts. So we could never really get enough space for our supports to thrive. And then when we were going for um, the 6-man comp, it was just a disaster because we were playing it like dive. We know how to play 6-man, but we were not playing 6-man like 6-man. We were playing 6-man like dive. Um, we got one decent rotation in, and that fell apart after 7 seconds because Phoenix and I just dived onto the hangar on the high ground, and like there's reasons why. Like we found kills with that dive, but our supports got traded for that. So it was just a coordination issue. We've never scrimmed. I mean, to be fair, we've never scrimmed at all. But we've never, as a team, played dive before, and we've never played Gibraltar before. So it was just a very new experience for all of us.
Whew, never scrimmed at all, and number one in the tournament. Absolutely amazing. There's nothing
Yeah.
else I can say about that.
Well, I mean, I think the team like we're built together pretty well. Not not
That's
to not to brag about my own team building abilities, but I finally made a team that's pretty okay. It's made of the basically the best players from Fathom. Um, the MKE and MTV team that tied for first place after Fathom got deleted are 5 of the 6 players in this team. The core of MKE, which is me, Phoenix, and Fungin, as well as we got a couple of MTD players, Gallant and Tescu, who are on-off roles, but they're still fantastic players. And then we got Nier, who's an incredible player in his own right, and one of my old teammates. So we all these guys are friends. We've been playing together for a while, except for the MTD people, but they've been playing together for a while. So it's just a good situation overall. Got a lot
The
of relationships here.
the coordination and synchronization between you and your teammates was extremely evident in today's matches. The May walls were doing a phenomenal job of isolating out your opponents. There was a moment on Hanamura where Gallant had placed down a teleporter to contest the high ground of North on point A, and Nier had walled off that opening. Phoenix went through the teleporter and dropped down, and we had written Phoenix off as eliminated because there was a May wall. All 5 of you were on the other side of that May wall, and he still managed to stay alive, and you guys fell out of the point once the May wall came down and just rushed to his defense. And that wasn't the only occasion that we had seen things like that. So take your humble brag on your team building abilities, because the coordination, synchronization, you guys obviously trust each other. There's an incredible amount of talent on your team, and everyone seems to know what they're doing. So this win tonight, this number 1 seeding, is absolutely well deserved.
All right. Yeah, and to be honest, I don't know who's getting player of the match for this, but it definitely deserves to be Nier. He just popped the fuck off today. He's been the homie since the original team that we got our name and logo from, the Chattanooga Chimps, which was a team in altitude in season 3. Ever since those days, he's just been an absolute freak of nature, and I love having the opportunity to be here for part of it.
Pride is not always a bad thing to have, but still very, very good thing, especially in this situation. You have every right to be prideful here. Intel, that is all I have. Anything else from you?
No, I really don't have anything much. I guess besides, is there anyone that you really want to be giving more love to, a shout out, especially for the people that are listening?
Phoenix, 100%. Phoenix is probably overall the best player on this team, possibly the best off-tank player in the league. And this man has gotten so much better. I've watched this guy since he was a player in Ape Academy on altitude in the MCon division. But he's been grinding the game so much. He's gotten so much better over the last few months. It's just unbelievable to watch. He's so unbelievably good at the game, and I'm very grateful to be his main tank partner.
Hey, that's really nice to hear. I guess I really don't have anything else, but you're free to go.
Go celebrate with your team.
I'd like to say something to Legion real quick.
Go ahead.
GG's, guys.
I'm gonna sit there.
GG's, Coop and Hudson. See you soon.
Oh, well, you're free to go. Go enjoy the rest of your night, especially with that victory.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night. Bramble, I've got to say, we've watched a pretty interesting series, and going forward, I think it's only going to be more interesting.
It's only going to go up from here. An incredible performance, and I'm super excited to see what's going to happen with the rest of these matches in this preseason tournament.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So if you want to stay tuned and kind of keep up to date with what's happening right now, make sure you stay locked in. You hit that little heart, you hit that little bell. You can follow Inspire Esports on Twitter. You can follow them on YouTube, Discord, join in, keep up to date. Either way, we want to thank you so much for tuning in and supporting. We'll see you when it comes to next time on stream, because in the end, we thank you.